At the beginning of our story, we meet a lonely street dog. He hadn't eaten in days, wandering through the streets, desperately searching for food. One day he reaches a small chicken shop. The smell of food draws him in, and somehow he manages to steal a bone. But as he runs away, he bumps into a man. The bone slips from his mouth and gets lost in the noise and chaos of the crowd. Disappointed and heartbroken, the dog lowers his head. You can see the sadness in his eyes. Just then, a group of army soldiers marches down the street, and among them is a young soldier named Robert. When Robert notices the poor dog, he smiles and offers him a biscuit. The dog's eyes light up. For the first time in a long while, he feels happy. From that moment, he starts following Robert everywhere he goes. Soon we're told that during World War I, French and British soldiers were fighting together against the German army, and eventually the United States joined the war too. America began training its young men, preparing them for the battlefield to ensure victory at any cost. Following Robert's scent, the dog sneaks all the way to the training ground. Robert heads into the camp with the other soldiers, but the dog slips in through a broken wall, drawn by the smell of food, and ends up inside the kitchen. Before he can grab a bite, the chef spots him and yells, chasing him away. The dog runs and once again bumps into Robert. Seeing Robert makes him wag his tail with joy. Robert tries to explain that he doesn't have any more biscuits, but of course, the dog doesn't understand. He just wants to stay by Robert's side. During one of the training sessions, a senior officer notices the dog and actually likes him. He tells Robert to make sure the dog gets something to eat after the drills. Later that evening, Robert brings the dog to the canteen and gives him food. Robert's friends warn him if the colonel sees this dog, he'll be furious and kick him out of camp. The next day, while Robert trains with his unit, the dog runs beside him, playing, running, and having fun. Soon, the officers notice something surprising. This dog isn't scared of gunfire like most street dogs. In fact, he understands human gestures quickly. They realize he's not an ordinary dog. He could actually be useful to the army. That night, while Robert plays with him, he decides to give him a name, Stubby. He starts training him to understand basic commands. The next day, when the colonel visits the camp, Stubby is right there. He sees all the officers saluting the colonel and copies them, raising his paw in a perfect salute. Everyone bursts into laughter, and the colonel is impressed. He decides that Stubby can stay in the camp. From that day on, Stubby becomes everyone's favorite. He learns orders, understands routines, and wins the hearts of all the soldiers. Then the day finally arrives. The unit is ordered to head to the battlefield. Their group is named the Yankee Division. Before deployment, the colonel wishes them good luck and orders that Stubby should stay behind to help with the training of new recruits. Robert feels sad. He doesn't want to leave Stubby behind, but he has no choice. Before leaving, Robert gives Stubby a small badge. Stubby proudly wears it, his tail wagging. Robert asks the chef to take care of him and then boards the train with his unit. But Stubby won't be left behind. He breaks free from his leash and follows Robert's scent all the way to the train filled with soldiers. He sneaks on board, and when the train reaches the harbor, he hides inside a wooden crate, the very one being loaded onto the same ship Robert is boarding. Night falls. Everyone aboard the ship is fast asleep. That's when Stubby quietly climbs out of the crate. He starts searching the ship, sniffing around looking for Robert. After wandering through the deck, he finally finds him. Robert is completely shocked to see Stubby on the ship. His friend Olson whispers, "If the general finds out about him, we're in big trouble." They try their best to hide Stubby, but accidentally Stubby bumps straight into the general. As Robert and the soldiers quickly salute, Stubby does the same, raising his paw in a perfect salute. Then he spots the general's cane on the ground, picks it up gently with his mouth, and hands it back to him. The general is stunned. He can't believe what he's seeing. This dog isn't just smart, he's disciplined. Impressed, the general orders the captain to make Stubby an official member of Robert's unit. From that moment, Stubby receives his own nameplate, and a street dog officially becomes a military dog. Stubby now travels with Robert and his unit to France. There, the British and French armies are fighting side by side against the German forces, but the Germans are overpowering them. During one brutal attack, many American and British soldiers get trapped under debris. Without hesitation, Stubby rushes into the wreckage, barking, digging, and helping to find the buried men. Because of him, several soldiers' lives are saved. The troops cheer for him. Stubby becomes everyone's hero. Soon after, Robert meets a French soldier named Gaston. They quickly become close friends. Gaston leads Robert and his team back to their camp. On their way, they pass through a city that's been completely destroyed, reduced to ashes by German bombardment. That night, the soldiers rest at the camp, and early next morning, Robert, Gaston, and Stubby set out on patrol. Hiding behind a rocky cliff, they use binoculars to watch the German troops. That's when they realize the Germans are preparing a poison gas attack on the nearby town. The three rush back toward their camp to warn everyone. As they run, Stubby spots a German soldier aiming his rifle at Robert. Before the trigger can be pulled, Stubby leaps forward, knocking Robert to the ground. The bullet misses. Stubby saves Robert's life. Robert and Gaston hide behind a fallen tree. Robert knows the situation is critical. German snipers are everywhere. He shows Stubby a gas mask and signals him to warn the others. Stubby immediately understands. He sprints through the fields toward the camp. Once there, he grabs a gas mask in his mouth and runs outside, barking loudly. The soldiers instantly realize what he's trying to say. They all put on their masks just in time. Moments later, German forces launch rockets filled with poison gas. Within seconds, green smoke spreads across the battlefield. Nearby, a small village lies directly in the path of the deadly gas. But Stubby doesn't stop. He races toward the village, barking as loud as he can. The villagers are startled at first. Then they look up and see the sky turning green, gas clouds rolling toward them. They quickly shut their doors and windows and cover their faces just in time. Stubby stays outside, still barking, warning everyone, until Robert and Gaston arrive on horseback. They grab Stubby and rush him inside one of the houses, covering his mouth with a cloth to protect him from the gas. When the attack finally ends and the gas clears, the villagers come out of their homes. They see Stubby, the little dog who saved their lives. From that day on, Stubby is no longer just a soldier's dog. He's a hero to an entire village. Back at the camp, the captain informs everyone that after the German bombardment, one soldier has gone missing. Despite their best efforts, no one can locate him. But Stubby understands what's going on. Using his sharp sense of smell, he races across the battlefield, dodging bullets and explosions, until he finally finds the injured soldier trapped under debris. The team uses smoke grenades for cover and rescues him safely. Once again, because of Stubby's courage, a soldier's life is saved. Soon after, Robert's unit receives orders to move to a new battle zone. Before they leave, a kind village woman gifts Stubby a handmade jacket, and Gaston gives him a special gas mask so he'll be protected if the Germans use poison gas again. After saying their goodbyes, the unit sets off for the front lines. In the next scene, the colonel addresses all the soldiers, telling them that from now on they'll face the Germans head-to-head. When they arrive at the new location, a fierce battle begins. Stubby once again proves his bravery, rushing through the chaos, helping to save countless lives. At one point, he cleverly lures a group of German soldiers straight toward the U.S. camp, where American troops capture them. But during another clash, Stubby runs to protect a soldier from a live grenade and is injured by the blast himself. Robert scoops him up and rushes him back to camp. The doctor treats him, but soon decides Stubby needs to be sent to a military hospital. Separated from his loyal friend, Robert feels heartbroken. Without Stubby by his side, the war no longer feels the same. Around this time, Gaston also receives orders to return to his own camp. Robert sadly says goodbye to him. After Stubby left, Gaston was the only friend he had left. Now alone, Robert writes a letter to his sister pouring out his thoughts and pain. He misses Stubby deeply and soon falls ill from stress and sadness. When the doctor examines him, he realizes that Robert's condition is serious. He might not survive for long. Meanwhile, far away in the city, Stubby is still recovering. His paw wound hasn't fully healed, but his heart won't let him rest. Determined to find Robert, Stubby begins his long journey back. Every step hurts, but he keeps going. Even when he collapses from exhaustion, he pulls himself up again, driven by the single thought of finding his best friend. After days of struggle, Stubby finally reaches Robert's camp. When Robert sees him, his eyes fill with joy. Stubby's presence lifts his spirits, his fever fades, and within a few days, Robert is back on his feet again. During their leave, Robert, Stubby, and a few friends travel to Paris. There they enjoy peaceful days together, and everywhere they go, people greet Stubby with admiration. By now, he's famous across the world, a symbol of bravery and loyalty. During this time, Stubby even helps the military capture a German spy. The general, impressed by his service, promotes him to an officer rank, and Robert receives a promotion as well. Stubby is now officially a senior member of the camp, respected by every soldier. Soon Gaston returns and congratulates both of them warmly. The three pose for a group photograph with their unit, a photo that soon appears in newspapers all across the country. Stubby becomes a national hero. In the final act, the American and French armies unite once more, launching a powerful counterattack that forces the Germans to retreat. When Robert and Gaston see the German bunkers up close, they're stunned. The enemy fortifications are massive, armored, and nearly impenetrable. A soldier approaches Robert and his unit with news. The war is finally coming to an end. He tells them that the government has decided to announce a ceasefire the next morning. Their commander confirms it. At exactly 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, the ceasefire will officially begin. The war will be over. Hearing this, Robert and all the soldiers rejoice. After years of bloodshed, they'll finally be able to go home. But the next morning, before the ceasefire takes effect, the German troops suddenly launch one last surprise attack. Gunfire erupts, chaos breaks out again, and both armies clash in one final furious battle. Amid the smoke and explosions, Robert sees Gaston running ahead alone. Without hesitation, Robert and Stubby rush after him. A few steps later, Robert spots two German soldiers surrounding Gaston. He's about to help when the sound of a horn echoes across the battlefield. The ceasefire has just been declared. The German soldiers freeze, then slowly drop their weapons and raise their hands in surrender. Robert looks down at his watch, and it's exactly 11. At last, the Great War is over. Robert kneels beside Stubby, smiling through tears. They can finally go home. Stubby wags his tail, his eyes glowing with joy, as if he knows their long journey has finally ended. But before heading home, Robert chooses to search the battlefield for any wounded comrades. Stubby sniffs the air, leading him through the ruins. Then Robert spots something on the ground, a soldier's hat. It's the hat of his best friend. Realizing what it means, Robert's heart breaks. He kneels down beside it, silent and grieving. Together, he and Gaston give their fallen brother a final farewell. After the burial, Robert bids an emotional goodbye to Gaston, and with Stubby and the remaining officers sets off toward home. When their ship finally reaches the harbor, a massive crowd is waiting to welcome them. Flags wave, music plays, and everyone cheers, not just for the soldiers, but for Stubby, the little dog who became a legend. Stubby steps off the ship proudly beside Robert, greeted like a decorated war hero. He is now one of the most honored members of the U.S. Army. A photographer captures a historic picture of him, a photograph that would go on to become famous all over the world. Because this story isn't fiction, it's real. Stubby truly served his country. He fought in 17 battles, saved countless soldiers, and won the hearts of millions through courage, loyalty, and love. Stubby, the street dog who became a soldier and a symbol of bravery that still inspires the world today. He wasn't just a dog, he was a hero. Stubby's story reminds us that heroes come in all shapes and sizes, sometimes even on four legs. He wasn't born a soldier, but when his country needed him, he stood tall, loyal, brave, and unbreakable. More than a century later, Sergeant Stubby's courage still lives on, a true symbol of friendship, sacrifice, and the American spirit. If this story moved you, if it reminded you what real courage looks like, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We bring you more untold stories of heroes who changed the world, one heartbeat at a time.